This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 761, How to Stop Being Mean to Yourself, by Rose Lounsbury of roselounsbury.com. Hello, everybody. Greg Audino here, back with you after the weekend. I hope the last few days have treated you kindly and that you've been able to relax a bit. We are back now with a new week and new articles about how to optimize your relationships. We've got a lot of exciting content to get through, so let's kick it off with this one from Rose Lounsbury and start optimizing your life. How to Stop Being Mean to Yourself by Rose Lounsbury of roselounsbury.com. Was I kind to myself? This question is written in red in a tiny flip notebook on my dresser. I look at it at the end of each day and ask it to myself as honestly as I can. It seems simple, right? A little touchy-feely, perhaps. But don't let the Mr. Rogers-esque tone fool you. It is much harder to answer yes to this question than you think. In fact, if you're like me, saying yes to this might go against everything you've come to believe about yourself, namely that whatever you do or produce is what makes you worthwhile. Being kind to myself is good day metric number 1, the first of my 4 good day questions, because it's the big daddy of them all, the one that I must do if I want any of the other ones to matter. It's self-love, self-compassion, friendliness to myself. These are all things I've typically sucked at, and you probably have too. You see, I learned early on to drive myself hard. Like a good American, raised to believe I'm an individual who's out there forging my own destiny by the sheer power of my will, I worked my tuchus off in school. I got the grades to prove it. I got the college scholarship to prove it more. I got the respectable, well-ish paying job. I mean, come on, I was a public school teacher. Well-ish is about as much as we can say for the pay. With good insurance, we can say that one with confidence, thanks Teachers Union, to further prove that I was well and good and an upright and successful citizen. Later on, I went all in on the American dream and started my own business, captain of my own destiny, carving out my own entrepreneurial chunk of the world. During this time, I also married a wonderful man and had 3 beautiful kids. But the truth is, I accomplished most of these things while being quite harsh to myself. If you'd like a brief glimpse at my internal dialogue, here you go. You can't stop studying until you know every single vocabulary definition by heart and can cite a proper example. If you don't, you'll fail and disappoint everyone. You need to stay up later to finish this blog post or it won't go out tomorrow and you'll be a failure. Your lesson plans are due tomorrow, so you better stay late and finish, and they better be detailed and near perfect, or else you aren't as good of a teacher as so-and-so down the hall, and your students will fail the state test, and then everyone will know. You call that a landing page? That looks terrible. No wonder so-and-so entrepreneur at suchandsuch.com is more successful than you. Do you remember how you lost patience with your kids today? Well, they'll remember this when they're older and resent you. Why haven't you paid attention to your husband today? A good wife is supposed to pay attention to her husband. Why can't you make time for him? Are those prepackaged snacks you're sending to school? If you were more on top of it and you cared more about the environment, you'd be making homemade snacks and packaging them in reusable bags that you'd wash out and reuse tomorrow. Truth. There are tears in my eyes as I reread that, even the stupid part about the snacks. But I'm being honest. This is but a brief glimpse into how I talk to myself on a daily basis. I'd like to say I love myself and that I have a lot of self-confidence, but honestly, much of what people perceive as self-confidence in me is simply the clever way I've learned to deal with feelings of inadequacy. It's not like I'm even aware that I'm talking to myself like this most of the time. I've gotten so good at playing well-functioning and successful adult that I can even fool myself most of the time. But if I dig really deep down, it's there. I bet if you are honest with yourself, it's there for you too. So, kindness to myself is the first and most important metric, the number 1 question I must ask myself to assess honestly if I had a good day. And truly, if I managed to do just that, to love myself, and did nothing else all day, I'd be having a good day. So what does this look like? Mostly, it looks no different than how I look on any other day. The difference is all felt, it's inside. It's telling myself, it's okay, you're trying your best, when I don't accomplish as much as I put on my to-do list. It's giving myself grace by saying, it's late afternoon, you're tired, they're tired, this is normal, when I lose patience with my kids. It's saying, but look how far you've come, when I get down on myself for not being further along as an entrepreneur. Basically, it's like replacing my internal dialogue with that of my best and most loving friends and letting them talk to me all day. It's quite nice. Easy? No. I'd love to say I've perfected this and that I'm regularly giving myself internal high fives as the day goes on, but I am a work in progress, slowly learning to recognize when I'm being harsh with me and kindly correcting. This is daily work, not a one-and-done solution to the problem of self-criticism. You just listened to the post titled, How to Stop Being Mean to Yourself by Rose Lounsbury of roselounsbury.com. And whether you are living with your family or apart right now, there are many healthy practices we can take when navigating our relationships. One which includes speaking to a professional therapist should you need any. BetterHelp helps connect you and your personal licensed professional therapist online, where you can schedule your weekly video or phone sessions at your own convenience. With their counselors specializing in stress, family conflicts, LGBT matters, and more, they make it easy for you to change your counselors whenever needed. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. No more sitting uncomfortably in a waiting room. Gain the flexibility of messaging your counselor anytime you want. BetterHelp is not self-help, it is professional counseling where everything you share is confidential. Guys, I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/ORD. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ORD. And thank you so much to Rose for that wonderful post today. What I like about this is, as she said when wrapping it up, self-love is daily work. And while most people don't feel like it's a one-and-done solution, it's often treated as such, or at least close to it. Many people look at self-help and self-care as treating themselves to a spa day once in a while, maybe splurging on a purchase they've had their eye on. But like anything, self-love exists in traces of each decision we make. There's always room for it in doses. And being mindful enough to ask yourself if you've treated yourself kindly at the end of each day is a really wonderful way to start integrating it into your life in that correct and healthy manner. And on that note, we are going to wrap things up. Go out there, be kind to yourselves, and check in with yourselves, guys. And I will be back with you tomorrow for another post that will help you show love to yourself and others, where your optimal life awaits.